Oh, hello, hello, hello. We are on day 6 of our brand new account. A couple things happened while we were away. I kind of took a day off from streaming out this account, and during that day, we were given a new deck, the Stealthy Subterfuge deck. Something's broken inside Arena, and I don't know if they know this or not. But basically, when this deck was given to us, it had a lot of cards that it didn't give us, which is weird. Um, Specifically, it said that we got 3 copies of the Silver Fur Master, and we did not when we first got it. So what we tried to do was, kind of go around it all and add in some cards that we thought were good to put into it. Now it seems like the ninja cards that were missing are back. And so we've got like an extra Thousand Face Shadow, Moon Circuit Hacker, Prosperous Feast. This is a futurist operative as long as it's tapped. It's a human citizen with a base power and toughness of 1/1 and can't be blocked. I hate it. Let's go away. Nobody likes that. When you discard a creature card, you can destroy a target creature or planeswalker. Kind of a neat removal spell, a way to turn a card that you don't like in your hand into something that you might like. Um, I, I do think there's some possible usage for that. I do like the Biting Palm Ninja. I've always been a fan of this life linking rat ninja that's in here that hands out when it comes in. And where's the Prowler? This is the Ambusher. Did they not give us a Prowler? They did not give us a Prowler. Okay, so this is Ninja Synergy that we've got going on inside the deck. This is not so Ninja Synergy that we probably added to the deck to try to even it up just a little bit. Network Disruptor can be a nice early flyer, allow other ninjutsus to come in, so we'll hold on to. Glisten Seer, probably not the right card for this deck. This is a bit of a removal spell. It costs 2 less to cast for each card that you get rid of if you need to get rid of a major threat. I would rather lose a card and cast a Wretched Sorrow and go down a card as far as advantage is concerned than go down half my life. I do like Offer Immortality too. You can cast this early, and that will cause one of your creatures to not be blocked, which would cause you a much easier ninjutsu. Fake Your Own Death is kind of interesting too, um, especially if we were going to use things like the Death Touch and stuff like that. I think it's a little too gimmicky for what's going on around here, and I think that we could probably get rid of a Fading Hope. Nimrazer Paladin and a Cruel Grimnarch. They just don't fit what we're trying to do. This is a little too expensive, even at 4 mana, just to get a 5/5 body on the deck. I do like Katosi a lot. It's a little difficult to understand when to use her, but my general thought is sooner the better. Because if you can use her, you can steal the card that you need on their side of the equation. Satoru is another one that if I've got a lot of non-ninjas in my deck, but I want to do some fun ninja stuff later, and I'm willing to spend 4 mana just to ninjutsu in something, essentially not change anything on the board state and just sort of bring in a sneak attack, Satoru can be great, but not under this current build. So we've got removal, tricks of the trade, removal, a little bit of a trick in order to continue to get stuff done, and then this kunai, which is another removal spell. It in its own way, it's a 2 mana and then a third mana to use, so you can kind of just use it on the side, so to speak. But you toss it onto a creature, it's going to give it that sort of threat of throwing a 3 damage fireball at any time. That will allow you guys to attack without somebody being necessarily blocked, and that will put you in a much better spot. A bit of a rampy creature over here, but the 3/2 is nice for 2 mana. It's a great ninjutsu to have. That's on there. It can definitely trade out when it attacks in the second time, so I like it. This one, when it deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card, and if you do, you have to discard it unless it entered the battlefield this turn. So when it ninjutsu's in, you're getting a free card advantage, but every other time, not so much. Another flyer that would give us an opportunity to ninjutsu maybe a little bit more often and creates a copy of another attacking creature that's also on the battlefield tapped and attacking. Kind of fun. It's always tempting to cast this out early, but it's a mistake. It's better at its ninjutsu cost 4. So like it's better. It's one of these rare cards that we pull from the bottom to the top and say I'd rather hold on to you and ninjutsu you in for 4 than to do it the other way around. This thing can also make the ninjutsus one less to activate. So if you put 2 of these guys on the board, you're getting a thousand face ninja in turn 2. So not the 1-drops that we're looking for over here. Part of me thinks these are a little clunky in the deck. They don't really open up doors or to attacking. The Network Disruptor does a better job of that, and we have an extra copy of it. I don't think we're going to be dealing with that many planeswalkers, and I feel like maybe just getting rid of creatures as opposed to worrying about proliferating, or like this. This is just a question mark of a card, to say the least. Okay, so now what we've done to this deck, now that we've got the ninjas, is our high end is really in their deck. What this is going to allow us to do, search the player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as the card that you are exiling. It has to be exile target card other than a basic land card from an opponent's graveyard. So something strong is in their graveyard, but we want it. A Phyrexian Obliterator, as an example. We throw Katosi out, we steal Obliterator out, and then we also steal any other like copies of Obliterator that they have. Now they have no Obliterators. The other aspect of it for is as long as you control Katosi, you may play one of those exiled cards and spend mana on it as though it was mana of any color. So even though we may not have a pure black deck, a pure black mana base decided, we know we have 4 mana because we cast Katosi for 5. We can use it to cast that card back on the next turn. So just a big fan, like just in general. 2 or more lands. We did get an extra copy of that. Tapped. Black and blue. Gain a life is better than just coming in tapped. I'll draw 1 card. 21 lands. That's pretty low. 22 lands is still pretty low for a 2.4 average. What would we lose? A Prosperous Thief? Yeah, I think that makes more sense. It'll kick down the average just a little bit, but it will put us back to the 24 land. I don't see why this deck would be good without the 24th land. So, okay, we got our Stealthy Subterfuge. We could try it out and see how it goes. We desperately need white or black spells, but we can also swap it and see if we can get our 750. So let's do that. We did not. We got a very easy one, play 25 lands, so it doesn't matter what we play. And don't forget, we also have the weekly rewards, the 250 XP, which is going to spin the dial on the Mastery Pass and give us probably access to this reward pack here today. So, pretty good stuff overall. We're going to check out our Stealthy Subterfuge Ninjas to see how they play. One of the more complicated decision-making decks in the game is the ninjatsu criteria. It is definitely going to reward you sometimes for not playing cards and then moving them into the ETB kinds of stuff much quicker and easier. A 2-land hand with 1, 2, 3 of our cards, 4 of our cards unusable with the land base that's currently in here is just a guaranteed mulligan, unfortunately. Thousand Face Shadow is a later hand, but we do have the 2 drops and the 3 drop here. So we are going to keep 6, and we unfortunately are going to move our Thousand Face Shadow off to the side. We might as well throw the slow land. We don't seem to have anything to do at turn 1, and that is A-okay. We're going to put up our Silver Fur Master, which will make our ninjutsu abilities cheaper. And we are going to consider tossing in a Kaito. This is a great ninjutsu though, okay? So, let's say for instance we do the Biting Palm Ninja. He jumps in, guaranteed, and he gets an opportunity to make them reveal their hand. We get to take a card from it. We're going to all attack. We're going to ninjutsu, and the other option would be you can clean a card, or we can create a treasure token. But getting card advantage on an opponent for 2 mana is just too good, right? Yeah. Take it. Alright, so this is what we're facing. Bloated Contaminator is the earliest threat that we're going to have to deal with, and we don't have a great way around it. He's going to have 2 spell tricks and a prize fight and a command. So we can push his game plan back quite a bit by removing that 1 card. We really got to watch that. I guess he didn't like that. Okay. We gotta win. It gives us the reward, the experience, the dial is spinning. We got our first across the board, and we're up to 650 gold. Oh, that was one thing that I did mention. I did just log in very briefly and play 3 games, or 4 games I think it was necessary, in order for me to get enough gold for me to capture the 400 gems that were in the store for 1,500 gold under the deal. It was yesterday's deal, and I was able to sneak in there and whoosh, suck it up. Love the forest, plains, lands. These are not my favorite ones in the game, but they are kind of cool. They're just, you know, add 1 mana land kind of deal. So they're the kind of thing that you could put on just about any card. None of them to me are like over the top amazing in here, except this one. The Watery Grave looks really nice as a black like mana base. I think it just looks pretty all the way across. It is the Island Swamp one, so you would only do it when you're you could pay 2 life to have it come in under untapped. Like, oof, these are not lands that are in rotation in standard these days. These are lands that I think we are allowed to utilize, but let's just move on. We're not gonna deal with prettiness. We're gonna deal with volume here in the beginning. Did I learn a lot about our ninja deck? No, just that Biting Palm Ninja is pretty strong, like for sure. Taking a opponent off of his game there, it was going to leave him stuck. Another bad hand that we're going to be required to mulligan. So, better mana base, got a 1-drop, got some removal, got something I can ninjutsu on the cheap on turn 2. This is a brilliant one. Hero's Downfall isn't necessary. We do have something to do on turn 1 and turn 2, so we're going to move our tap land off for just a moment, unfortunately. Sure. Denick. Okay. Great ninjutsu opportunity, but nothing for us to do here. So we go all attack. Wait a minute. Return an unblocked attacker you control to your hand. Put this card in the battlefield tapped. Why didn't it? Because I never cast the other one. Oops. I messed up the mana base. I was supposed to cast this, and we were supposed to be sitting back, and now I'm like back a whole nother turn. This is why you test out decks to get used to figuring out things like how touchy is the mana base. That's my bad, completely. Ouch, kabibbles. Go ahead. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. That's coming out slow. Super cheap ninjutsu cost. But no reason to ninjutsu. Is it? I think we just put it on the deck. It just gives them 1 second to pause here. To think about, like, do they really want to attack in with the Yoshi in frontliner? I think the answer is yes. We definitely do. This is an interesting deck, by the way. It's got, like, some Esper pieces to it. It's got some life gain. Yeah, we're not going to play that. I was hoping that the Zephyr would go, but it didn't. Okay. So, total of 4 mana, 2 black. Things that bother me the most. When Zephyr enters the battlefield, if it was a soldier, you get +1 counter. And this is no good. We just are not allowed to let this thing survive. Too good to deal with. This is one of those parts where it's like, you have to remember to pick your timing on your attacks in order to make sure that something is going to be unblocked. Ideally, we're looking to get, yeah. Okay, this is just not working. Unfortunately, we're just casting it. I think we lost. We definitely lost. If I don't get rid of this Harbin, it's over. It's over. So we just conceded. I'm not so sure what went wrong with our deck on that one, except for the fact that there just wasn't much opportunity for us to get an attack in unblocked. He seemed to have the perfect answer for the ninjutsu activity that we were trying to accomplish. I think it also hurt that we messed up with land in the beginning. We got off of turn, and unfortunately where Magic is today, you make one mistake in the first 2 or 3 turns, it's over. There's no recovering whatsoever. It doesn't exist. We're going to keep this. It's a mana of each color, which is good. And it gives us 2 opportunities to see if we can't figure out a way to at least grab our 3rd mana, which is good. No block. Okay. Yep. Alright. Whenever they deal combat damage, you may discard a creature card, and when you do, you get to get rid of another creature. That's going to be nice. We will be up to 4 mana, which means that we've got the ability to do some tricks. I think this is a good example of one where we do the trick early? Yeah, no, I'm okay with you having an extra mana. Okay with that. Okay, so this is what I would do. I think I would put Offer Immortality onto the Dukai Silencer. That would create the Moon Circuit Hacker as the obvious block, and I think that's a trade that's worth. So we go... Well... Yeah. We click next, we click all attack. Let's just see what happens. Nothing. So we can save our Offer Immortality and swap in Prosperous Thief in order to create... Yeah, that seems like the right answer, right? Whenever one or more Ninja Rogues creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you get to create a treasure token. No. The other option would be to get some life back here and pop in a 3 with a life maker. Yeah, we're going to ninjutsu you in for the hacker. So we're going to say next. We're going to get rid of, what do you think, the Prosperous Thief? Yeah, submit 1. And that is going to remove this guy. Right. And then finally, we could put Network Disruptor in, or a Silverfur Master. Silverfur Master will make our next ninjutsus cheap. If there are any ones that are in there, I do think that's the answer. We can still pull our Offer Immortality trick, but my man is behind now in health. He's focused only on attacking. I haven't blocked a single attack of his. Yeah. Okay. This is a no-brainer. We just move that threat as an option. If we all attack here, right? I have a feeling that the Silverfur Master is the one that we want to save. I could be wrong. Let's go find out. I'm willing to lose a guy. Okay, so who do we like the most? Dukai, I think getting rid of Keswick is better than this. This is an even trade, and we'll get the 4 health, and we'll get rid of that. I kind of want to keep the Dukai, if I'm not mistaken. I know it seems weird, but there's more shenanigans we can pull with the Dukai in there. That's always nice to clean their side of the board. Good. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's tap you. We'll click all attack. We will remove this, causing that guy to get destroyed. And we're threatening lethal. Tobilar! Okay, we could cast a Katosi now. And what that will do is let us go into here and take something of his that we like. And ultimately, this Reckless Stormseeker is probably the most disruptive card to our plans. Right? He just has an unnatural moonrise. What did we take again? We took the Stormseeker? Where are they? Really? That was the only one? Cool. Wow. Nice. Alright, we'll just drop that one there. Yeah, we can leave that back. We'll just push this out here. Good game. Next. Submit onto you. All attack done. Good game. Good game. Good game. I would say overall, this is good stuff. If you know how to use your ninjas, you can get around a lot of different threats that are on the board. But really getting comfortable with like which ninja am I casting, how am I dropping him in and out, do I always have an opportunity to get a free attack? That is the nature of the game there. We are at 15 of our 25 lands played, and we have gotten 2 wins out of our 3 games that we've played. Ooh, blue or black is giving us a chance to get a mythic rare wild card. Yeah. So just keep playing blue or black. I mean, we're getting lands on the board. We're getting a mythic rare coming around the corner soon. I haven't felt the need yet to use our wild cards on anything. And with a new set coming out on Tuesday, it seems like we should probably let the meta settle a little bit and see what happens. What happens with the jump-in packs? What happens with the decks that we face? Is there must-have? Like, I can tell you that when Phyrexia All Will Be One first showed up, there was a specific card called the Venerated Rot Priest that just suddenly looked like you gotta have it. This is a good hand. This is a sad situation. We could take the risk, throw the Network Disruptor out first, but we lose the tapping capability of it. If we go with the land that is tapped first and then this, we can use the Network Disruptor's tapping capability later. I think that I like that more. I would be fine discarding the Moon Snare. Hello! As the creature card that sort of allows the Dukai to delete something off their side of the board. We're going up against a mono red so far. Aha! Boros. Boros is red and white. And it could be simply a equipment deck. This is going to help us figure that out. We'll see if there's a removal spell. There is, and that's okay. What's really okay about this is it's a samurai deck. Yeah. I do like the Network Disruptor in here, and I do like our Silver for Master on the board. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to just cast the Silver for Master right now, and I'm going to click Next and End. And the reason is, should he choose to attack, it's not a trade that I'm going to take. You'll say no on the block. Okay. Let's go with... Yeah. I mean, it's a bit of an all-in, but it's early enough that, like, I'm not that worried about it. And then we'll get like one more threat come back onto the board, and then the Network Disruptor can tap that and get the 2 attacks in. We can discard like the Moon Circuit Hacker. Just a lot of fun stuff that gets to happen here. Put this out. We'll go with the next attack. Do we get this in there? When you do, you can discard a card and clean it up. Is there anything that I... Yeah, there's. I'll just drop you in here, like this. I'm gonna clean up the card here for a second. Click next. Yeah, take the action. And that gives us a second Moon Snare Specialist. Okay. So we're full of tricks, right? Next. My turn. Yeah, you can go over here. And, what do you say? Let's go. mean, worst case scenario, right? So we're methodically moving through this. This in the trenches is nice, but he's having trouble with land piece and double casting. That's what I was noticing more than anything. We're going to get another removal spell against a Moonsnare Specialist because he's getting sick and tired of bouncing his players back and forth, and that should give us an opportunity. Should we just offer the Immortality here? Yeah, I think so, right? It just kind of keeps him mana locked, and it keeps our advantage. Thanks, bud. Hey, good to see you. What do you say? What do you say? What do you say we kill that thing? Okay. Moonsnare would bounce him. Circuit Master allows us to swap through cards. I like that a little bit more than anything. So let's just bounce out our Moonsnare so that we can do the bounce thing again. Bring that into the deal. Do some damage. We'll take the action here. And we'll take the action here. And if I'm looking for a discard, it's probably this one. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah. It's a control deck, right? You're just using it to control their side of the board. If they are in any way, shape, or form struggling to find ways to get things in, then you've got them, you know? This one ninjutsu's in for lifelink. We would definitely lose a player. But the cool part about this is we are okay with losing a player. We've got a lot of things on the board. They're going to do a little bit of damage to get past our Atsushi, but most importantly, Atsushi's going to die right now. Yeah. No, I want this one, I think. Yeah. We're going to decline that. There's nothing to get rid of. But we're making his life tough now. Ninjas against samurai. Right? We want the ability to bring one in and then bring a second in, but that's fine. So we do the same thing again. And then we see what he does. That's fine. We just do a Moon Circuit Hacker. How much did they give? You're only 2? Yeah, we do this instead. And we do Moon Snare Specialist, right? And then we go like this, and we bring you in there, and we will get rid of you, which is fine, because this is coming in. We're getting rid of that, and we're saying next to damage. Okay. That's how you use your ninjas, Dan. Some removal spells. And a little bit of In the Trenches, which is a mythic enchantment. I thought he was going to be really happy about that. We bounced his exemplars, his Atsushis. We did a lot of good work on that one. That's probably the best example of how to use ninjas that I've ever done in my entire time playing with them. We got the land done with the black and white. We got the experience on the win, and we're up to 3 wins, and we are just 3 lands away from doing our jump-in packet of the day. And I'm excited about that, actually. I love me a jump-in packet or 3. Gonna just look and see if kids are still sleeping. I'm hoping they are. Let's find out. Let's find out. Let's find out. Yeah, we are good. Let's go. Play again. Uh, you know, your goal in a typical day, we've been on this account for 35 minutes, and we've been talking through like the deck and stuff like that. But usually, if you can just put like 25 minutes into a day, you can get like 2 or 3 wins. You can really move the needle pretty fast. It doesn't have to be a 1 hour a day kind of game to make the most out of it. The only reason why I'm usually doing these 1 hour streams is because I'm really trying to talk through the decision-making process of how to spend your resources. And I wanted to do it live, right? So I wanted you to see like, what do you do with the new decks? What do you do with some of this other stuff? If we drop in our Thousand Face Ninja, we don't get a lot of benefit for it. We might as well go with our slow land off the top and then cast our flyer as our second shot. Then we can bring in our silencer, our other flyer, and take that thing out right there. So we're going here. And we're considering this. Draw a card and discard a card unless you attack this turn. We could attack with the Infiltrator, no ninjutsu, drop in Kaito, and create a cannot be blocked ninja on the deck. That cannot be blocked ninja will make us a lot less susceptible to removal spells down the road. And I kind of like the idea of his Mercurial Spelldancer coming back, but one thing to consider is it's mono blue. And if it's mono blue, it's counter you, is what is basically I'm going to say. So we can consider is there an ninjutsu opportunity that I like in any of these? I don't think so. Right? The fact that we didn't see a pause there when I went straight to ninja means that he probably doesn't have a bounce spell. But let's see if we get a counter spell. No, see, we didn't. That's good. We're gonna do this. Draw a card, or I'm sorry. We could just get a draw card, or we could get this. We'll do this. Let him phase out. He's got a free turn, so to speak, at 4, and they're only going to do 2 damage to us here. Game on. Get a little bit of goodies. Okay. I think we just take the fast land at this moment. That way we get 4 opportunity. What we're going to do is we're going to all attack, click next, swap in. You're coming back down. Go next to damage. All good. Discard a creature card. We've got 2 of these infiltrators. We could just get rid of the one that he knows about. Yeah, we'll just do this. That's fine. And we will delete you. I can't really block the Mercurial Spelldancer. I could delete it on here, or I could create a greater board presence allowing future ninjutsu opportunities. And I think I like that better, right? Yeah, no, I think I'm going to do that. We already attacked, so we can just get the extra card draw, take the plus, and move on. We had to get rid of that card anyway for the silencer. So next, Kaito, you sexy beast. Look at you. Nice. Oh, he's so sexy. Okay, we're not going to need a trick on this one. The question is just, do we want to um, delete Mercurial Spell Dancer? And I think the answer is yes. I would rather just lose the Network Disruptor since we've got a flyer on the board. Prosperous Thief will allow us to ramp up, and Thousand Face Shadow doesn't give us anything spectacular right now. So I think we throw our slow land. I think we attack and take our card draw on the plus, right? We go all attack. We might as well Prosperous Thief in over that. Click next. We turn our 1 mana card into a destruction vehicle against that. And we consider we're definitely going to plus here. And we're definitely going to give us another really good opportunity to go after them. Okay, so we have got removal, we have got land, we have got one less Dukai silencer, unfortunately. That's okay. We don't have the ability to protect that. Okay. I can't be blocked. It can block, which is good. If I remove the Prosperous Thief, as an example, I will take the block. I think that's probably the right answer. Bringing in a Thousand Face Shadow could create a second Prosperous Thief. I do like that. Let's do it. I'll an attack up here. Yep. Who would you like to attack? I think we just get rid of this thing. How are things going? Good. Good to know. Good to know. I think we just delete this thing. I don't want to get any surprises. Auto pay is good. Victory is mine. Ninja. Hey, we leveled up. You know what that means? A lot of packs. We got our 500 gold. We jumped way up in gold, which is excellent. But our little pack light is on right here. So we're going to check this thing out, and we're going to open it up. Come on. Rare. Cacophony Scamp. Super fun card to use. I definitely like this. One of my favorite one-drops in the game. This is the strongest uncommon card in the game. Guaranteed. And do you know why? Because you can be the whatever one you need it to be at the time you need it to be when you're building your deck. So you should be jumping up and down when you see mythic cards show up, because this 30 uncommon, 30 common, 13 rare, 6 mythic rare, like, we are accomplishing the kind of deck building strategy that means that we could make a meta deck in a very short period of time. A lot of fun. What we're doing, though, is we are holding on to those resources. We are allowing a new season to show up, because there is no point in running into whatever the meta is looking like today, when on Tuesday it's going to be very, very different. Let's hold on to our wild cards. Let's acquire as much as we can. We're going to start to consider spending common and uncommon cards much more aggressively when we're trying to go through the ranked category, and we should start to look at that because we're running out of time. This ends in 12 days, and we're currently at Bronze 3. And as far as rewards are concerned, I do think that it's worth looking. bronze is one pack. This is one pack and 500 gold. If we can find our way to get through gold and get to platinum, we're really starting to look at, 1,000 gold, 3 packs. It's essentially 4 packs, or it's a jump in and 3 packs. All really, really good stuff. So I think that we'd like to find our way up to platinum. That seems like it would be difficult, but we're halfway through bronze and we haven't really even been trying yet. In any of this, and I do think that we have a deck that will let us climb ranked just fine, and that is this strength in numbers deck. So far, I've seen it in action, and it's proven out to be pretty solid stuff. Um, it's not perfect. We're not going to win every match, but we're going to be in the fight in almost all the matches that's there. So let's go to our jump in and see if we can't strengthen some things up. We have gotten our win. We got our check mark. Nothing to collect. Time to resign. So we say yes. And time to spend 1,000 gold. And what did you do to me with your sneaky ninjas? Want to make my ninja deck better? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. A couple things I'm going to point out, though, in this decision, because it's not just, I've got a ninja deck, let's go get some more ninjas, right? First thing I'm going to point out is that, and I'm pulling up the list here so that I know exactly what we would be looking, but I think it's the Biting Palm Ninja is what is our most likely choice. Sneaky is the Biting Palm Ninja, or the Girl Rat Ninja, who's really, really good. The Nashi Moon Sages. The other aspect of it is we'll get the ninjas that I like. There are the Prowler Ninja that's out there. He's a rat, and he's really good. He gives out like lifelink and death touch to some of the other creatures, and can turn your little guys that are getting blocked into just absolute annihilating bombs that's in there. So if we really want the ninja deck to be one of the decks that we lean on, we should take the sneaky for sure. This is what I was going to say, though. The new set that comes up is going to have a lot of spirit synergy as one of the major tribal themes. They have vampires, we're going to have humans, and we're going to have spirits. The green and white deck for us is going to have a lot of humans in it, and so I do like the idea of the humans, but we don't have any spirits, and the new set may not have much to work with them not giving us a spirit tribal themed deck. They did give us a werewolf deck. They did give us a ninja deck, but we don't have much in this category. So just looking at the rare, we have a Doretha Vengeful Victim, and when it attacks or blocks, you sacrifice it at the end of combat. It's 2 mana, blue and white, and it's a 4/4. So it's a one-time use card. You get to do one thing with it. You either get to block with it once, or you get to attack with it once, and then it's gone. Why would this be good? Well, there are a lot of cards that say when something leaves the battlefield this turn, do X. So there's probably some death triggers involved in the spirit deck. Makes sense. Spirits kind of can't become a spirit unless you died. Um, so yeah, okay. You're not scaring me off just yet. And then under werewolves, this is the pack that I think is probably the one that's going to make the biggest difference in a single deck that we own. Our werewolf deck is kind of poop, okay? The werewolves that we own aren't the werewolves that we need. The werewolves that we need are we need the mechanics that make the unnatural moonrise happen. We need the 2/5 here to Children of the Pack to help us sort of boost up our board and become a mana sink for late game. So a nice mid game blocker and a big boost. It's really there to slow the game down. I don't think it does what we want, but if we can make it night, it's a phenomenal attacker at night. And then the other aspect of it is we could get an Arlen, which we already have 2 copies of, but having 3 copies of Arlen really makes the werewolf deck very formidable on almost every game. And then Tovolar is a card draw mechanic. If you can go wide and then you can attack, Tovolar is going to give you an opportunity to clean through a lot of cards and kind of see where things are. Is there anything Did we like the Ninja deck so much that we wanted to put more investment into it? Not really. It is going to go from being like, let's say, a level on a scale of 1 to 10. This pack would take it from a level 6 to a level 7, right? Our werewolf deck is currently sitting at a level 4, and this thing could move it to a level 6 or 7. So I think that um, if we want to do the thing that's going to help our collection the most, we're going to support the decks that we have the most of, and we're not going to wing and prayer it through the spirits side of things, because those cards are just going to sit on the sideline for a long time, and they're not going to allow us to continue to play at higher levels, especially when we're trying to do a ranked push, right? So let's go with werewolves. Let's do it. Ah, we've taken enough of these. We just really have. We know we got everything that we need out of that. Enchanting is excellent, and Wolfpack is super synergistic, both with our werewolves and with what our goal was in taking our first pick. So it's going to be hard to talk us off Wolfpack. Wolfpack gives us a chance to get us an Ascendant Pack Leader, which is a 1 mana, 2/1 wolf. Excellent as far as the start's concerned. And then when it enters the battlefield with a +1 counter on it, if you control a permanent with a mana value of 4, like this girl right here, or greater. The next thing that happens with the wolf pack is whenever you cast a spell with a mana value of 4 or greater, you get to put it on there as well. So as much as the Ascendant Pack Leader looks like that's what you should be doing, turn 1, mana 1, dropping a 2/1 on the deck, I actually think it's much stronger when you're casting it as the additional, like you're casting a 2-drop and the Ascendant Pack Leader on turn 3, because on turn 4, if you've got the mana ready and the Child of the Pack, you're going to be boosting that card up to make it a very formidable attacker that can survive and stay on there. All the way up to the enchanting, just to look. Sorry. There's one other option in the wolf pack. There's actually two. A very, very good rare card called Tovalar's Huntmaster. He's a bomb. He's a 6 mana. Comes in, creates 2/2/2 wolves. So you're getting a total of 10 attacking and 10 defensive across 3 different bodies. There's just almost nothing that you can want better than that. But if you're able to flip it into Knight, he's going to make 2 more 2/2 bodies that's out there. And then he's going to boost up to, I think he becomes a 7/6 in there, if I'm not mistaken. So Tovalar's Huntmaster is exactly the kind of bomb that you're looking for. And then the Avi Bruck Caretaker is hexproof when she lands. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you get to put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target you control, and that continues to happen again and again. She's just constantly boosting the board, and she's very difficult to remove. I've never had one in just because I felt like my wolves came together, and the rarity of those things dropping didn't go my way. The enchantments we've looked at before, they're both 2-drops, they're both 2/2s. There's a lot of like building synergy with things like the Gallic readers and stuff like that being out on the deck, but you're not going to be able to get the Gallic readers. This is your hands out +1s when another enchantment hits the deck. I think that the enchantment deck can be really strong. It's just let's go all wolves. We'll sell out and see what we get. Did we get a Tovalar? No, we did not. Okay. Did we get... Well, we got this Tovalar, which we knew was our most likely chance. And we got this Ascendant Pack Leader, which is exactly what we talked about, where when we cast something with 4 mana or greater, we have an opportunity to make the Ascendant Pack Leader strong. So really, what we're trying to do is cast this guy alongside one of these in the 3-drop slot, and we're just using something like Kessig as a way to... sneak in that extra mana. We could even cast the Ascendant Pack Leader after we cast our 3-drop spot. If the Kessig survives the first, deal and solidifies, he'll attack. A new mana will show up, and the Ascendant Pack Leader will come up here. So I feel pretty strong. We've got a Howl of the Hunt enchantment, and we have... What is Into the Night? It becomes night. Discard any number of cards and draw that many. What a hand cleaner. Never used it before. It's just an uncommon card, but it's kind of neat that's in there. Reckless Impulse, exile the top 2 cards, and you can play. There's a lot of card just like going away. Some strange... Wolf Strike's great. Well, and remember the mechanic here is day-night, right? And so as it becomes day, you get to transform all your nightbound permanents to their day. If a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night on the next turn. So if we feel like we've got a good blocker and we can survive through, then we can go night, and then you can see going from a 2/5 to a 5/5 is a huge leap in this category. Let's just jump in there. We don't need to practice with wolves. We know what we're doing. Let's give it a shot. We could get a fast win, and we could go back into our deck. We could infiltrate in all of the wolves that we picked up to see if we could come up with the most ideal deck for the wolves pack, and we can move on with our day. Call it a day, right? Hungry Ridge Wolf. I think we'd cast this guy first, so it'll look a little bit more like this. Into the Night would be nice, especially if we wanted to flip a hasty creature here. Moonranger Slash does 3 damage to any target, and it be cast 2 less at night. Righty then. Hungry Ridgewolf is good. We can all attack. We didn't get anything on the 2-drop. Somebody didn't take their free mulligan. And they have way too many cards, and they're not playing the land. So we're just taking advantage of a bad situation for teammate. If we cast Into the Night next, I don't think we get anything out of it the way that we want to, right? If we go with the Daybound version here, we have a 4/4 for 4, and I think that that's a credible threat on the way back in, right? I am fine giving up a wolf right now in order to get the damage ball rolling. He may not want to, but he should trade out his abomination. Yeah, that's good. I would have done the other one, because at least you would have just stopped the 2. You're going to take the 3 damage either way, but that's what that's a me thing. Okay, doing a little card cleaning up there. If we draw a land, we can pop the Village Watch and toss in a 4/3 hasty attack. The other option would, well, okay. The other option would be to remove the Organ Hoarder in order to make our hasty attack on the next one much cheaper. If we go Into the Night now, we won't be able to duel out this. It'll just be the hasty attack. But I kind of think that by going Into the Night now and attacking with just the Mariner, we put them in a much tougher spot. They can just only solo block. It becomes night, discard any number of cards, and draw that many cards +1. What's this really do for us that's different than this? I'm going to submit 0 and just take the drop, right? I can slash this now on the cheap, and then I can all attack, and we're down to 7. And you always like that. It's just like, think of it like a +2 kind of spell. What he doesn't realize is that if he doesn't put a blocker on the board now, it's game over, because our Village Watch will hit the deck ready to go. Okay, alright, it's not game over yet. Good for you. Alright, let's just go for it, right? All attack. We just gave up. Sorry, MJ. I mean, I get it. It's frustrating. But it happens. Okay. It also helps that we picked out 2 different decks that both have the synergies that we're looking for, right? Oh, a Necrogenic Rock Priest is good. And what's the card that we got? A wolf! We got a wolf! We're in a wolf category! Okay, let's go check out what we can do with these wolves. This spell costs 2 less to cast if you control a wolf or a werewolf. I like this card a lot. It's a 4 mana, 5/4 most of the time, especially in a wolf deck, right? And it has the ability to transform up to a 6/5. There's really not a lot of cards that are more bang for your buck than that. So we're going to go check out our Wolves deck. This is the Wolves Gruul deck. We're going to type in the word wolf. And we're going to take a look and see what we got. We're just adding all of our wolves in. That's to go anti-wolf. Not sure we would do that. Oh. Come back here, you. Okay. So this is every deck, or every card that says wolf on it. And these are the cards that say knight on them. Although I don't think that one's going to go in our hand. And this one... Oh, he's a different kind of knight. I was like, what the heck? Human knights. Alright, here's a new wolf that we missed. And a different kind of knife. And there's the unnatural moonrises that we were looking for. Okay, so now we have 102 cards that have the word wolf or the word knight on there, right? We're going straight wolf. So I am removing some of these Gruulish non-wolf creatures out of our deck. And we're going to take a look and see what we like that's on here. Miglos is good, though. You might not remove a Miglos. Definitely like the Piper. I'm not a big fan of this. That card worked out pretty good. I like the haste. This is a lot of mana for some 1/1s. That doesn't make sense, right? Burly Breaker is a 5 mana and stays a 5 mana. This is a 6 mana that turns into a 4 mana if you have anything here. So I think that this is more like a discard kind of scenario. I don't see racing towards Burly Breakers as a solid way to go, unfortunately. I do like the Village Watch, though. Having a hasty card at the top end of your deck is kind of neat. Here's a 3/2 with Trample and Daybound that turns into a 4/4 with Trample. Not bad. These enchantments are kind of neat because you can flash them in. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has Vigilance, and that doesn't go away. It's just always there. So you can see how putting something like a +2/+2 with Vigilance on a Child of the Pack would be really solid, but also on like a Keswick, right? Even like a Papsong Pup would do really, really good. I like it. Don't think we need a lot of artifact removal necessarily. We don't need little tricky spells on the side. This is a 3/2 with Trample, which is kind of neat. We definitely aren't trying to kill wolves as much. A Snarling Wolf for 3 becomes a 3/3. Yeah, I didn't think that's very good. Okay. First pass through, we've got removal spells coming up. We've got... These are expensive removal spells, though. It doesn't also allow your guy to survive quite as much. Infectious Bite is a little bit more powerful that's on there. I kind of think that I remove these 4 spells and we look for better removal in green. I think that there probably is some better removal out there somewhere. Uh, you may cast Oakshade Stalker as though it had flash if you pay 2 more to cast it. So it's a 3/3. Yuck. Yuck, 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 yuck. This is a 3 mana, 2/3 mana dork. Can be good for ramping, but we are not ramping into anything, so we can live without that. This Piper is excellent if we're keeping large creatures up here at the top. But if we're really leaning into the wolf side of things, we won't be doing it that much. Um, Our curve is at 3, and we have 24 lands as it stands today. 2 or more. 1 damage. We have 1 pain land. We can take a look-see on the land front to find out if there are other fast land opportunities, and it doesn't look like there are. So I think that we're okay with how the land looks right now. 9 more cards to get rid of, right? A lot of unnatural moonrises could be fun. Very fun, to be honest. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got a lot of things on the board here. We could live with less of these, right? Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is the quote-unquote quandary. We can put things like the Tyrannix Rex in order to use the Halpak Piper to deliver a knockout blow. Other things we could do is try to deliver an Iron Crusher as a knockout blow as well. It's a creature. It can go in there. This thing gets plus X, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. It's really for like that slow or that melee kind of situation, and we're not in either. And this is a trampling 6/5, which is great, but it's not going to be anything there for us. The worm is good too, as sort of creating the kind of how would we say this, like a restorative creature, right? Like we can restabilize very, very quickly. And so the goal of this would be, instead of casting things on the more natural, really leaning on the Halpak Piper to allow us to get there. But we are not, we are a little bit more, we're less bomby, but maybe we shouldn't be. Is this really the game changer that we think it is? Gives us card advantage. Okay. We took out kind of our weakest little engine guys. These are just little like fodder to go, with the idea that we're going to try to use our Halpak Piper to deliver knockout blows at the top that aren't so night and day dependent. That's on there. I think that this is a good deck because it has a idea of what it wants to be. It's a mostly creature-based deck, but it does have some spells. It does have the ability to create some removal. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Target creature deals damage equal to its power. So we don't have to risk our creatures to make that happen. Wish I had more of those. Actually, could have more of those because it's an uncommon. We could just create one, so to speak. Moonraver's Slash is pretty good. Howl of the Hunt is less good. And Into the Night is the least good. We're going to craft one wild card. Okay? And the reason we're going to do it is we happen to have 31 of them, or 30 of them, or something like that. So it ain't the end of the world. But what that does is give us a little bit more interaction with the board down here at the bottom. It allows us to control the day-night situation, so it kind of boosts up the creatures that we've got over here. It gives us the ability to use our Moonrager Slash at a much more aggressive click. It also gives us the Arlen capability of using the 5/5 for 0. I think that's Arlen's number one piece to the puzzle. She can help you go wide a little bit, but that's just there to kind of protect herself. What's really the ideal is to flip it tonight while she's on the board, pop her out as a 5/5 and have her attack away. She's got trample, she's got indestructible, she's got haste, she's a bomb. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bombs. These two are pretty close to bombs, especially if you're talking about night when they can have 6 damage that's on there. And you give it a card draw. We've got some card draw. We've got some card draw going on here. There is definitely a card draw theme in this deck, and so that is really uncanny inside a wolves, or I would say not necessarily wolves, but inside a creature-based deck. That kind of card draw means that we're not going to run out of creatures to cast because we'll always have new things to attack into. We're going to go one game with it. And then we're going to call this a wrap on there. We're a little bit over. It's about an hour and 12 minutes into what was supposed to be about an hour that's on there. But what else we got going on? It's Sunday morning, and it's not football season. So let's do it. Everybody's still asleep, so that's good. Pax on Pup saves the day. Something on the deck early to do. We can use this as removal spells. We can use the Unnatural Moonrise with our Arlen to create the big baddie. Just so you understand what I'm doing, I like to pull from left to right, and so what I'll try to do is I'll organize the cards in the order that I think I'm going to end up casting them, right? So 1 mana, no creature card. 2 mana, 2 mana creature card. 3 mana, 3 mana spell. 4 mana, 4 mana spell. 5th, turn into the Moonrise, bring out the 5/5. This could go poorly. They've got one of the faster, quicker damaging decks that exist that's out there. But they're not looking completely soldier themed, so we're okay. I do like the Keswick more than I like the Paps on Pup. Yeah. I'll show you why. Boy, that's frustrating. When you don't know your cards, you're in trouble. If you know your cards, you're in a much better spot. I wasted my slash on a removal thinking, it's a 3 mana thing, I can just remove it, but it had 4 toughness, and that left it quite alive, and that left me down a card, down the mana, and just open for the Counter-Strike attack, and there's just no coming back from that. At that point, there's nothing that we're going to do that's going to create a board state that's better. We were on time with the Keswick, and what's cool about it is it's going to throw the ability for an extra mana to go. We can skip over the Crusher and toss a child of the pack and bring out the Crusher at the end. All really good stuff. I say Crusher, here's a Crusher. So Maze Crusher, Niglos versus the Iron Claw. Stop us the Crusher. We could, but we're not going to. This is, like I said, a better card in the back end of the situation here. Yeah. Yep. We're gonna go with you. It really helps to be first, unfortunately. Snarling Wolf gets a +2 if they want to utilize everything that's on there. There's no reason for me to worry about point damage, so I'm not going to get it done. Yep. Here we go. Here we go. We could attack, possibly use our Howl of the Hunt, and if we don't, let's go with next. Okay. No reason for us to use the Howl of the Hunt. We can get the Child of the Pack out. Right. I mean, that's the whole purpose of having that card, is to allow you to ramp super fast. Right? So there we go. Now we can catch big threats coming his way, and going knight helped. Not casting anything, letting that extra attack come through. Flipped the script. He doesn't know how to get past. I don't think he did anything wrong. It's just we were able to recapture back the momentum with the attack. He obviously had a plan, and we disrupted it. Okay. Not a lot of good testing on the deck, but we're gonna call it right there. Pretty good day. We got 6 wins. I think we only lost like 2 or 3 times in there. We didn't lose in the jump in. We're getting a little bit better. As far as decks are concerned, I think that this Wolf's Rule deck has gotten much stronger. I think that we've definitely done a pretty good job of fixing up our Stealthy Subterfuge deck that's in here. I like the curve on this deck, and I like the ninjutsu fun stuff, like the dirtily in and out. Here we go, I'm not going to attack here. You kind of slow down your early assault, and you speed up your mid-game board states with this. It's really nice. It's not the kind of deck where it's like, oh look, it's creature based, so we're gonna have to throw in creatures. It's got 27 creatures. You're kind of playing with 1 or 2, and you're keeping them alive. You're being really smart about how you use your removal spells in order to make sure that you're always able to flip things in like the silencer, and then by doing things like that, you're saving a removal spell, getting a chance to remove things on the board, controlling board states, controlling library states with Katosi, creating Kaito out there on there as like a very difficult to sometimes remove planeswalker, and just a real opportunity to continue to get the card draw piece moving in the right direction. If you can continually remove their creatures off the deck, Kaito is fine. He stays on the deck the entire period of time. I don't think we had another Kaito. Yeah, we just have this one. There's another version of Kaito that's a 3 mana, one that sometimes works really nice too with the ninjas. But all in all, I would say a big win here. A medium win in the Wolf deck. Medium win being, we're still using the Howlpack Piper to bring the room together. We've now got a nice threat that's sort of like mid-game ramps as we go, and we've really added this neat like day-night, rampy. We're going towards the high end. We have a real purpose with this deck, and we're not staying down here for long. We're just literally utilizing these cards to get up into these cards. Then we can put some 6/6s on the board, a nice 5/5 on the board. And then the other piece to this puzzle too is other creatures you control get a +1 with this, right? So there's just a lot of like hidden things that happen if you use the day-night correctly. The painful part of the process is not casting anything for an entire turn. Unnatural Moonrise removes that and adds positives to it, right? So whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card, and then you're also turning at night for that turn. So just really awesome right about here. Um, so we wanted to make sure that we had some bodies that we could throw out on the board to help control the board state. And if the Keswick gets a chance to survive, no problems letting a 2 damage creature go by, not trading for it in order to create the kind of mana situation that lets me skip over these and go right to these. These things can be nasty. Consider this, right? Turn 1, we do nothing because we don't have our pack leader. It's only one chance. Turn 2, we throw our Keswick out, and they throw their second attacker out, and whoever they used on their first attacker goes right by. Turn 3, we attack, right, with our Keswick that's on there, and we get that extra piece of mana. We've dropped a mana card all 3, so now we have 4 mana to throw. We toss out our Halpak Piper that's on there. Now we may have lost our Keswick, or we may not have. I mean, I think we're okay if we did lose it, but if we didn't, that's okay because we should now be on turn 4 with this already on the deck, ready to spend 2 mana to put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay, we definitely have the 2 mana to do that. Creature card, creature card, creature card. So with a total of 5 targets in a 60 card deck, there's a solid chance that after 7 cards in the original draw and 4 more draws after, if we got 3 lands in the beginning, our perfect hand has just one of these in it, and it has and it draws 1 more land across 4 draws. If that's what we're looking at turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Hard to win. This is a ramp wolf deck. We'll use Night to ramp up the power of these creatures right here in the 4th drop slot if we don't end up with the Keswick plan working in the direction that we want. Maybe a removal spell takes us out. We can toss in our Tovolar, and then we can pop it out there, or we can toss in our Miglos, and we can really stabilize our board state by taking the oil counters off and creating Vigilance and Menace with this creature. 4/4 at turn 3 is strong by itself. The 6/6 is super attractive, but it's not the only way for us to handle this. And then God forbid we're facing down like a Urbask Forge or something along those lines and we need a removal spell. Miglos can become that removal spell. So this is less attractive than I thought it was going to be. This is more attractive. Yep. Yep. I felt like mana was in the good spot. I felt like overall this is a good place. We'll have to re-rank our decks maybe tomorrow too, and come up with a new system where like the numbers are not so difficult to adjust, because we're getting a few decks here now and we're starting to already like have a difficult time. You know, after Vrand's Braids, the artifacts are there. I didn't want to renumber everything, so I just tossed it in the middle between 3 and 4. Dollhouse of Beetles may never be the deck that we want it to be, but it's fun nonetheless. And then some red cards in here. There's not a lot in the aggro side of red that wolves add to the puzzle. So, I mean, this is kind of just fast and furious. Having 2 squeeze is so good. Having 2 Atsushis is good. This is a neat card that I had never utilized before, but with the new Exuberant Fuselings and the Free from Fleshes, the Viashanos, they are all modified creatures down here at the bottom. We could use our Furnace Skull Bomb to put 2 oil counters onto something in order to make it into a modified creature. And so by the time the Ambitious Assault comes up, if you control a modified creature, you get to draw a card and replace it, plus all the creatures you control get +2. It's actually a really solid finisher. All in all, I think that maybe the Skull Bombs don't do enough that's on there, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So cool. All right, we'll call that a stream. We're definitely over on time, but we had fun and we definitely made some progress. Till tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning, we'll do another quick one in the morning. We'll see if we can't get some more of these weekly win rewards in order to move our mastery pass a little bit closer to our next pack or two. Actually, just we don't have this one down here, so our next pack. And then on Tuesday, the new set arrives. The new set is let's see if we go to the store. Actually, I think the store is where we want to go. The new set is going to be called Shadows over Innistrad, and it's going to be a remastered version of two sets that are being brought back in together, Innistrad being one of them, and I can't remember the name of the other one. They're both pretty old, but it's kind of neat to bring back all these cards. They have changed the rarities around in order to make them a little bit more synergistic, especially if you're trying to build like limited formats that's on there. The limited formats will give us an opportunity to see more about what these cards do. This is a lot of money, $30, in order to just draft 1, 2, 3 times, get 2 rare cards, which is something we can accomplish just on a single day. As you know, if you really love these rare cards, usually, but they don't usually give you the strongest rare card in these bundle packs. Then you'd get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 6 more. So 17, 18 rares. You're going to be spinning the dial quite a bit as you open up your packs. Probably another 2 wild cards that are at the rare or above category. So we'll call it 20 total rares, 3 more drafts, averaging at 5 rares a draft if we're drafting for value. Give you about 25 rares in this situation. I'm sorry, 35 rares in a bundle here, so you're getting a little bit less than $1 a rare, which isn't bad, right? And you're getting an opportunity to have some fun because you get a chance to draft in the new set. You get a chance to learn the cards in an environment that sort of forces you to play them against people who have lower level cards too that are also in the set. And if you get some wins, you're going to get some gems out of the whole thing. This draft that is there is the premier draft. It is this draft, I believe, right here, that is going to get reset and brought over. Strixhaven, by the way, super fun draft. They did that midweek magic that we got a chance to do. That was incredibly good. The School of Mages was one of my favorite drafts I've had a chance to do out of all of the draft formats I've tried. I think I've tried 5 of them now. Brothers War stuff, some of the Crimson Vow pieces, the Phyrexia all will be one. I tried the Strixhaven one over here. And I think I did an Innistrad one when it was available. Don't quote me on that, but I think I did that. That's it. That's all the ones I've tried. So five different attempts in different sets, and it was clear to me that Strixhaven is a really, really fun to draft set. There's just so many unique ways to move the colors around, to create a spell book that's on the side and have more than just 23 playables at your disposal. There's just a lot of fun that's not so dependent on the bomb heavy rares to accomplish, and if you can stay in those schools of magic that they create, you can do some really fun things. But this is what I wanted to show you. If you used one of those tokens, you wouldn't have to spend the 1,500 gems, right? So that's worth like 4,500 gems right off the bat. And then let's just say that you're averaging 3 wins, right, while you're in there. Well, 3 wins will get you 2 packs and will get you 1,000 gems. And so you'll go through your 3 tokens, you'll get 3,000 gems that you'll have in return. That would put us at 3,400 gems, and that would allow us the opportunity to buy the Mastery Pass, right? And by buying the Mastery Pass, we would get more tokens, right? We would get some gold, but we would also get some gems back in return. And if we ended up playing this account all the way through the whole season, you can see there is about 1,400 gems that are available. No, I'm sorry, 1,200 gems that are available in the Mastery Pass. So lots of pretty stuff, lots of packs that we would find. It would kind of double the amount of packs that we would be getting. It would open up the door to future drafts to create more opportunities for more cards. It's just kind of a bit of a snowball that starts. So $30 to start that snowball is the most expensive way that I know how to do it. But it is also going to put you right in the forefront of whatever the new cards for the season are. If you're looking at the one-time $5 welcome purchase, you're getting 2,500 gems. You're getting 5 packs. It's the gems for $5. 2,500 gems for $5 is so good. I wouldn't draft the 1,500 version under this. I would probably go and start considering spending my 2,500 gems in like the quick draft scenario. Quick draft would be really easy for us to value draft in, and you can see 3 wins only gets us back 300 gems, right? The reason why we would want to do the 2,500 is just because we would get so many more spins at the wheel, right? We would be getting these 750 out, right? So that's 1,500 a try. So it feels like we don't even get 4 tries at it. But assuming that we're winning back 300, we're only going minus 400, right? Or 450 that's on there. So that means that we would easily be able to do a a fifth, sixth draft just with the gems that we're winning back in order to continue spinning this dial, averaging 5 rares on the low end side of things out of a pack, getting 6 spins on the dial, being able to essentially get all of the common cards in a set out of all of the drafts that we're doing out of there, just really boosting up our performance, and we're definitely gaining the set at a much quicker rate than what we're doing today with the 1,000 gold and 2 rares a day. Now you're looking at getting probably 5 rares a day for an entire week, or greater. I've definitely come out of quick drafts with 6 or 7 rares at a time, sometimes 8. And if there's, let's say, 65 rares in a set, and there are 4 copies of each rare. Let's assume that we don't need 4 copies of any single rare in order to make a deck function at its high. Like we could probably get away with 3 copies of each rare. That's a total of 180. That $5 purchase gets us, let's say, 6 drafts if we're doing, I won't say poorly, but like if we're averaging in the 300 range, right? And that's another 6 times, let's say 5, but we'll make it 6. 6 times 6, we'll get another 36 rares. So we're 1/6 of the way of accomplishing all of the rares for an entire set for $5. That's pretty solid. I think that you're going to really like what your set looks like. You're going to like playing the rest of that season out, even if you don't really do anything spectacular towards spending money or gems or any of those kinds of things. What you'll find is that you'll probably be in a much better position to end up the season with like 70 or 80% of an entire set complete, and you spent $5, right? You should also consider the fact that you're probably in a good position to continue to acquire gems. Like we've already acquired 400, so you'll continue to acquire gems too, as you're playing in the gem world. And if you're doing those drafts, you're not necessarily having to do the jump-ins. If you're not doing the jump-ins, you can be saving your gold to do the drafts. The draft costs 5,000 gold. We're averaging 5 rares, so it's not quite as good. But if our goal is to create, a deck that has Phyrexia All Will Be One stuff in it, the jump-ins are very hit or miss. The quick draft is very much going to give us exactly what we're looking for. So I like the quick draft idea. I know I'm not going to spend money on this account because it's not always in the cards for everybody to do. So I'm not just going to say like, yeah, you just spend some money. On my other account, I spend a little bit of money on it. I think I bought the 2 welcome bundles that they give you. There's a $5 one, and then there's a one-time adventure bundle, which just gives you the 3,500 gems and a avatar and a sleeve, right? The reason why this is nice is it means that for $14.99, you're going to get your mastery pass. You don't have to be worried about getting a pre-purchase in order to get the deal to get the $15 mastery pass. The other option that you could do is you could just go to ham with the 3,500 gems inside the quick draft. You might be getting better at your quick drafting. I just did a quick draft myself in my other account. I got 6 wins, which meant that I gained 100 gems for it, and so I went higher in my gem total than where I started, and I got a mythic and 2 rares that I was looking for. On that one, I've got the set much more completed, so I'm drafting to win. I'm not drafting necessarily as a set collection, so I don't want to set your expectation that you'll be at that like 6 win each time. But I've definitely had decks where I've done both. I've been able to get that 6 or 7 wins, and I've been able to get the cards that I'm looking for in the set. And that draft that I just did was a great example of that. 2 packs came out of it, so I ended up with a total of 5 rares and an extra 100 gems for free, just for being pretty good at the game. If I do say so myself. All right, that's it. Look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow, and I will start to put together some of these things to make these videos much shorter, much more digestible, and you can kind of see